And welcome back to the show. Today we're going to take a quick look at the Davenport calendar stone. And the Davenport tablet, or the Davenport calendar stone, said to have been discovered on January 10th, 1877 by a Reverend Jacob Gass. And we are also told a year later, on January 30th, 1878, Mr. Gass was accompanied by Charles Harrison, president of the Davenport Academy of Natural Sciences, where they excavated the calendar stone tablet. And we are also told a few months later, on May 15th, 1878, Gass made another trip to the farm and found 5 more inscribed stones. 2 of them are now said to be in a museum, while 3 of them were too large to move. And the artifacts were sent to the Smithsonian and deemed to be fake by a man named Cyrus Thomas. So, for starters, this story is telling us that for 2 Januaries in a row in Iowa, there was no snow on the ground that would have impeded these excavations. And the ground, the frozen ground, even if there was no snow, the ground was not frozen solid, so they were able to dig easily 2 Januaries in a row. And if you take a look at how archaeologists, how careful they are sometimes to excavate these things, it makes it even harder to believe that they would be out there trying to bust through frozen ground to dig these out. So what is going on? What really happened? What do we have here? Well, it appears, once again, we have a historical narrative that when the slightest bit of pressure is applied, it falls apart. And we are also told that the experts at the Smithsonian accused some of Gass's counterparts in the Davenport Academy of Natural Sciences as being the perpetrators of this hoax. So here's what I think happened. They absolutely did find artifacts from a previous civilization during the Euro-American colonization of North America that occurred in the 1800s. Now, did they honestly share what they found, where they found it? Or did they stage events like this to kind of curate the entire conversation on these types of things? Kind of like how they will stage an event only to swoop in and make themselves look like the voice of reason that kind of dismisses all of this hysteria. And by now it is well known to many people how sketchy and corrupt the Smithsonian Institution is. Now, I'm kind of limiting how deep I'm going to dive into this one. So if there's anyone in the Davenport area, Matthew, Leary, maybe you know something, you could chime in on this. I heard that the calendar stone was shipped to a museum in Europe. I wasn't able to confirm if it was present at a museum there in Davenport or not. So if anyone knows, please chime in. But I will say this about this mound building culture that we are told was present before the 1800s. The way that they are describing these mounds that they excavated, with layers of beads, layers of shells, layers of bones, and different layers of things, that just complicates the problem of how these hunter-gatherer people were able to build these mounds with no tools, really. So you have to envision that if the excavators of these mounds' story is true, that means that when the previous people were building the mounds, when they went to build these mounds, they would have had piles of shells, piles of beads, and piles of bones accumulated around the site that they are going to build, so that as they are building, layer of dirt, layer of beads, layer of dirt, layer of beads, layer of broken pottery, layer of dirt. Just as our lovely friends at the Smithsonian always claim to find when they are robbing these graves. So Just the composition of these particular mounds suggests a elaborate process for the builders to have had to engage in. So I am going to leave this one here for now. I had wanted to invest more time into it, but it's just not, stars just aren't aligning for it right now. So if anyone knows anything and wants to chime in, or anyone wants to build upon this episode, please do. I'd like to get to Davenport and really look around, as well as, Arsenal Island, whatever it's called. That island there between Illinois and Iowa. There's some major history to be explored there as well. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.